And so we're going to talk about some ways to manage all of those considerations without having decision paralysis keep us from taking action, especially within the first one or two visits, perhaps with or without laboratory assessment. So my goal is to always be able to take action, because action is what makes our patients get better eventually, whether it's action that they take or action that we take. Laboratory tests don't cure people. Laboratory tests only provide information to educate our actions. But we don't want to be intellectually paralyzed by our dependency on laboratory data, for example. We need to be able to take action without laboratory data, even when we're treating dysbiosis, and I'll show you some ways that we can do that today. On this slide, I provide a good amount of text, so you're welcome to pause the video and take a read of what I state here. In the third paragraph, I again reiterate, don't become dependent on laboratory testing for every clinical action you take. These are just some concepts and considerations. Here I made a list of rights and wrongs in the assessment of dysbiosis. We definitely don't want to think that dysbiosis treatment always requires drug antibiotics, because in a lot of cases patients don't need drugs. We can always use nutrients, we can use botanicals, we can support immune function, we can support immune tolerance. We certainly have many options that we can select from other than simply reaching for a prescription pad and prescribing antibiotic drugs, even though, for many of us, that's how we started off in clinical practice, was kind of a search and destroy approach. And I think that with time and more science and more experience, we've learned to not reach so readily for that prescription pad. On the other hand, just like we don't want to be overzealous about antibiotic drugs, we also don't want to be overly dependent necessarily on botanicals, diet, and lifestyle. Sometimes people do need antibiotic drugs. So we need to have balance in that conversation and appreciation for the merits of both sides, as we might say, and also the ability to analyze and appreciate each situation for what it is.